Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into tokenization. It's a technology that some of the biggest names on Wall Street think is going to completely transform the entire global financial system.
So let's just jump right into it. You've got major investment firms like Bernstein throwing around huge terms like a tokenization supercycle. Now that's a pretty bold statement, right? So we've got to ask, what is all this hype about? Is there something real happening here? Let's find out.
And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, ARK Invest is projecting a market of $28 trillion by 2030. Seriously, let that number sink in for a second. That's the kind of figure that doesn't just make waves, it reshapes entire economies.
Okay, so what is this technology really? Before we can understand those massive predictions, we really need to break down what tokenization actually does at its core.
In the simplest terms, it's about taking a real-world asset, think cash, stocks, bonds, or even a whole apartment building, and creating a digital receipt, or token, that proves you own it. That token lives on a blockchain, turning something physical or traditional into something that can be moved around online, instantly.
So here's how it works. You take something like a bar of gold, you create a digital token that says, hey, whoever holds me owns this bar of gold, and boom, suddenly that ownership can be traded anywhere in the world at any time of day, almost for free. This takes things that are traditionally really slow and clunky to sell, like real estate, and makes them incredibly liquid. That is the game-changing idea here.
All right, so that's the theory. But let's get out of the future for a second and look at what's happening right now. Where is this technology actually being used today?
And the answer is pretty much everywhere. The market for tokenized assets just hit a record high of $24.5 billion. So this isn't just an idea on a whiteboard anymore. We're talking about serious, real-world adoption.
Now this chart gives us a fantastic snapshot of the current market. You can see tokenized US Treasuries are the biggest piece of the pie right now, making up almost 40%. Stablecoins, which are just tokens pegged to currencies like the US dollar, are right behind. But see that little slice for tokenized stocks? Keep an eye on that one, because you're about to see why it's so important.
So why are treasuries so hot right now? Well, it's all about something called on-chain yield. Basically, it means you can earn the interest from super safe US government bonds directly in your crypto wallet. It cuts out the middleman, it's faster, it's available 24/7, and for investors, that's a huge deal.
But okay, here's where things get absolutely wild. Remember that small slice of tokenized stocks? Well, look at this chart. The market has just exploded, growing by over 2,800% since the beginning of 2025. That's not just growth, that is a rocket ship. And it's a huge signal that something big is brewing.
And you better believe that kind of explosive growth has caught some attention. So who's driving this? Well, it's not just crypto startups. The biggest names on Wall Street are moving in, and they're moving in fast.
We are talking about the absolute titans of finance. You've got BlackRock, JP Morgan, Citi, all of them are pouring serious cash and resources into building this stuff out. Why? Because they see a future where they can make markets way more efficient, cut settlement times from days down to seconds, and save billions on back-office operations. They see the writing on the wall.
And here's the really crucial part. Where is all this institutional money and activity going? Well, it's almost all converging on one single public blockchain, Ethereum. BlackRock's fund, JP Morgan's projects, they're building on Ethereum. This basically makes it the foundational railroad for Wall Street's new digital ambitions.
Okay, so with all this momentum, it sounds like a straight shot to that trillion-dollar market, right? Well, not so fast. Anytime you're talking about changing the financial system this dramatically, you're going to run into some major hurdles and risks, and we definitely need to talk about those.
And this slide really lays out the two sides of the coin perfectly. On one side, you have this incredible promise of a frictionless, 24/7 financial system that's open to everyone. But on the other side, you've got this nightmare scenario of regulatory chaos, new kinds of systemic risk that we don't fully understand, and just a lack of clear rules.
And look, not everyone is sold on the idea. You've got a lot of critics asking, hey, is this really better than the super fast electronic systems we already have? And it's not just critics. When you have people like Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, openly warning about risks to financial stability, you have to take it seriously.
So that really is the trillion-dollar question, isn't it? Will this be a financial revolution that unlocks incredible value for everyone? Or will the regulatory hurdles and hidden risks stop this whole thing dead in its tracks? Right now, the future of finance is hanging in the balance, and it's going to be a fascinating ride. Thank you for watching. If you got something from this, please like the video and support the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That really helps us. Thanks again.